According to the Extraterrestrials. Chapter 6. The Tunguska Vent.
It was Tuesday morning on the 30th of June 1908. A tremendous explosion took place over the mostly unpopulated eastern Siberian taiga, near the Tunguska River. The blast flattened some 80 million forest trees, over 830 square miles, about 2,150 square kilometers. No deaths were reported or documented, which many people at the time could accept as true, because the area was mostly unpopulated. The magnitude of the blast was later calculated around 12 megatons. This is about 800 times more powerful than that of the Hiroshima atomic bomb from the Second World War. The explosion was so powerful that the seismic wave, equivalent to an earthquake of a 5 magnitude on Richter scale, was registered all over the world. The sky was filled with particles that ascended into the upper atmosphere, and when illuminated by the sun, a glow was seen in the sky for several nights, even in Europe. Our history confirms there were no atomic bombs back in 1908, no explosive rockets with that much power existed. We did not yet have any satellites, nor the technology to cause such an explosion. So, it was initially postulated that it must have been a meteor airburst, of an asteroid that exploded in this area. However, later expeditions failed to identify any crater or asteroid fragments. They found millions of flattened trees laying radially on the ground, from what could have only been a massive blast wave. Surely, we know something exploded there, above the forest, hundreds of meters above the ground, without leaving any trace. Many decades later, a study revealed the findings of nickel microparticles in that same area, which could only suggest that whatever caused the explosion was metallic in nature. Many theories have been put forward, trying to explain the very documented inconsistencies of what has come to be known as the Tunguska event. The original theory tells us it was an asteroid. But was it? Evidence suggests it could not have been an asteroid, as there are no clues of a crater nor any rock fragments found on the ground. Was it a comet? No, it was not a comet either, and as the evidence reveals, the area is left full of metallic particles and once again, no impact crater. Was it an antimatter explosion? No, because for this to happen, the explosion had to occur at a much higher altitude, in fact when it came into contact with the atmosphere. No other antimatter explosion have been reported anywhere. Could it have been an asteroid that exploded before impact in a nearby lagoon? No, as there is no evidence of impact on the shores of that lagoon. Perhaps, then it was an asteroid that passed by at low altitude, bounced off the atmosphere, partially exploded and the remainder returned to outer space. No, because that type of event would have left a strip of fallen trees, not a circular-shaped pattern below the explosion. We know from the documented evidence that a large circular area remained for many years below the explosion, where no trees were able to grow back. So, what do you think really happened there? Here are some clues from eyewitness declarations found in the Sibir newspaper of July 1908, referring to an explosion on 17 of June of the Julian calendar. Equivalent to 30th of June 1908 of the Gregorian calendar.
On the morning of 17th of June, around 9 a.m., we observed an unusual natural occurrence. In the North Karolinsky village, the peasants saw to the northwest, rather high above the horizon, some strange bright, impossible to look at bluish-white heavenly body, which for 10 minutes moved downwards. The body appeared as a pipe, as a cylinder. The sky was cloudless, only a small dark cloud was observed in the general direction of the bright body. It was hot and dry. As the body neared the ground of the forest, the bright body seemed to smudge, and then turned into a giant billow of black smoke. And a loud knocking, not thunder, was heard as if large stones were falling, or artillery was fired. All buildings shook. At the same time, the cloud began emitting flames of uncertain shapes. All villagers were stricken with panic and took to the streets. Women cried, thinking it was the end of the world.
We know an object such as an asteroid, or a comet, falls at enormous speed. Its fall tends to last seconds, not minutes. So what do you think it could have been instead? We know from eyewitness accounts that it was said to be cylindrical in shape, that it was very bright, and most peculiarly, that it fell very slowly for about 10 minutes. And, what do the extraterrestrial aliens who have been contacting Billy Meier tell us about this event? Back in 1953, one of Billy's extraterrestrial friends known as Asket, was first to tell him about the Tunguska event. Many years later, in 2006, the Plagiaran extraterrestrial named Ta gave him a more detailed explanation about what the Plagiaran know. Ta told Billy that space travelers from a distant galaxy 400 million light-years away from our solar system visited Earth. They came from a planet called Bardan, inside a cluster of galaxies in the constellation Coma Berenices. This is 1 million times farther away than the Plagiaran star system. The Plagiaran explain how space travelers move quickly through hyperspace, so a journey like that for the Bardans did not take a long time. He further explains that they also came here before, around 1,000 years ago. As a result of their visit, they adopted some of Earth religion's beliefs, and after bringing them to their planetary system, caused serious problems and wars, even a destruction of one of their planets. Because of those complications, the Bardan people were forbidden to return to Earth, or to intervene in our development. The Plagiaran also follow a law of non-intervention in Earth's matters. But a group of Bardans, traveling in their big spaceship, due to an issue in their navigational system, got lost and arrived at the solar system, and found themselves stranded on the Earth due to severe damage on their ship. After that, it was no longer able to conduct interstellar travel. These Bardan extraterrestrials were human, very similar in appearance to our terrestrial Mongols. The stranded Bardans intermixed with the human population in Russia and possibly in Mongolia. Since they looked like normal villagers, they did not raise any suspicions from the local residents. Over time, they began to have affectionate relations with local Earth humans, and soon after, many of them became infected with syphilis. Due to their genetics, the syphilis virus mutated and became more dangerous, even deadly in some cases. The Bardan leadership from their home planet decided not to rescue them. They had violated the order of not intervening with the Earth-human society. The Plagiaran respected Bardan's leadership decision, and did not help them either. Facing deaths from this viral outbreak, the Bardans found themselves desperate. Without help from their Bardan planet and stuck on Earth, sick and dying, and with no possibility of returning, they unanimously voted an extreme measure, deciding on a collective suicide. With this plan in mind, they engineered an atomic device, and loaded it onto their partially functional ship. And with all the remaining Bardans aboard, they managed to elevate it to a determined altitude a few hundred meters over an unpopulated area near the Tunguska River, in Russia. They needed to be sure their high-tech equipment should not fall into the hands of those underdeveloped human beings. They also had to make sure they would not kill anyone else in the explosion, so they chose that area. Once they reached this height, they proceeded to drop the ship and detonated the atomic device before it could hit the ground. In a split second, the atomic explosion caused some 4,300 Bardans to die instantly, leaving no fragments of their ship, other than the already documented metallic traces. This is what we are told caused the Tunguska event, which to this day, has remained a great mystery to the scientific community. With this story, and many other stories like this, the extraterrestrial Ta teaches us several things. One lesson focuses on the existence of several space-traveling peoples who have visited Earth in the past. That they are mostly human in appearance, and some of them could easily blend in undetected with that of the Earth's population. Also, many of these extraterrestrial people belong to the Plagiaran Federation, that currently forbids them from interfering with our evolutionary development. We are told they abide by very strict rules of non-interference, and if they defy these rules, they are made to face the consequences of their actions. Another learning from this story is how religious beliefs may cause divisions, wars, and even a destruction of a planet. Currently, the Bardans and the Plagiaran, along with many other planetary star systems, belong to the Plagiaran Federation, which is tasked with the monitoring of our development, without permission to directly intervene. They know Earth is facing a major epochal shift and transition, where hopes are placed for Earth's humanity to evolve towards peace and harmony with the Earth, the flora, the fauna, and each other. We are facing a very real chance to evolve and become true human beings, with a higher state of consciousness, as we venture into the cosmos in peace and harmony. And perhaps, one day, we even join their peace-loving Plagiaran Federation.